got to be excited to unveil this to the world, right? Because this is one I think the people are gonna. It's gonna be fun to watch and discuss, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think anyone that loves horror films will love this one, to be honest.
Hmm. Well, yeah, because some people might say it's not a horror film per se, but there are very horrifying things, right?
Yes,
For
yes. It's
sure.
like a horror thriller because there
Yeah.
are horrific moments, absolutely, that fall under horror. But it's thrilling. It's watching character development, it's watching the motivation. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dylan, you had to go to some dark places here.
Yeah, yeah.
How long did it take you to shake this one off, right?
Oh man, it took me a couple weeks to get into the mode. I think, luckily I had a 2 month, 3 month preparation for this one. So, it allowed me to get into that deep, dark sort of world. And yeah, it was difficult. And even the next week or so after, it was a little difficult for me to get out of character. So,
Yeah,
hopefully people can see that in the performance.
absolutely. And Barry, for you, of course, that's you have to lead the charge on this. Or you just kind of off to the side, go darker.
that's a great question because as soon as everything was, greenlit, Dylan and I met on FaceTime to like really go through it page by page. And, as I said to Dylan when we first met, I said, look, I brought this character into the world, but we're about to raise him together. So it really was a real um, effort on both of our parts um, to develop Eli and to see what motivates him, all that kind of stuff. And that was great. That was great.
Mhm.
Lead the charge. Look, I can't speak for the directors, but we don't do this alone.
Yeah.
I don't lead in charge. I had great DP, great actors, and everybody made me look good.
Was there a particular scene for each of you, or day where you're just kind of looking around, going, "Okay, this is kind of how we pictured this thing going."
For me, it was when I got to work with Mayim in the therapy session that we had. Um, I think we had some moments in that where it just kind of, projected the whole film. And yeah, I think there was a few moments where we were like, oh, this is a little different than normal. This is pretty special. And yeah, Barry allowed me to really go for it, and I really thank him for that one.
Hmm.
And
How
he
about
went.
you, Ben?
It was great. I know you don't. I just like I love seeing creatives just fly, you know, and they give. Dylan's performance was fantastic, and so was Ariel. And my favorite scene was also there's two of them. The opening scene where Dermot, his father kills the bully, which I found brutal. And I'm not saying I wish it would have happened, but I was bullied as a kid. So maybe somewhere in the back of my bullied kid mind was, the dream of somebody coming along and just saving me, which did not happen. And of course, Mayim and Dylan, that scene where Eli sees the psychiatrist and just she's the encourager. In some ways, she's the reason he does everything and causes the entire movie. She spins him off on the wrong path. Not intentionally, of course, but
Mhm.
seeing his dad was probably very triggering and maybe, ignited some hereditary gene.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, of course, you guys are making films, and people look up to that and they think, see, that's the greatest job in the world. And, sometimes it is. So, what kind of advice would each of you give to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps and do what you do?
Oh man. I think create relationships. I think that's a big thing that people don't really talk about in this industry enough is, it's more who you know than what you know.
Hmm.
I think, being good to other people, being good on set, saying hi to everyone, um, that goes a long way in this industry. And I accompany it to my success so far is just, be good to other people and treat other people how you want to be treated.
Hmm. Barry?
I agree. I echo everything that Dylan just said. And you know, to really make it, you gotta never give up. On your worst day of low motivation and feeling in the dumps, you gotta pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep going because you might have to write dozens of scripts to get one sold, you know, and the odds are not great, but if you really, really want it, you can get it. And then once you get it, be collaborative. You know, like I said, you know, everyone always says, you know, a film by Barry J, but it's a film by everybody on that set. You know, great producer, amazing cast. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't. The DP was phenomenal, just
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah, he just made the shots exactly, and we were collaborative. You know, we met on Zoom quite a lot, and then in person we went over stuff quite a lot, and we did stuff on the fly because what the actors were giving us was inspiring us to do something different. Because we both agreed you can't get married to what's on the page. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is true. Well, well, you like this one. So my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And we'd love to ask people their Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just kind of had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you? Was it this or maybe something else?
I mean, for me, it might have been this.
Yeah.
You know, I think Barry kind of gave me a Hail Mary moment when he gave me the call and said I could do this. Not many people were calling me at the time and saying, "Hey, we want you to be a lead in a movie that has, you know, a bunch of layers." And um, for me, I just had to kind of take the ball and throw it and hope to God that it got caught. And you know, I think we might have caught one here, and that's really cool. And no, just a huge thanks to Barry for the opportunity.
Hmm. Yeah. Barry, for you.
Well, when I saw his reel, I mean, Jim Clark sent me his reel and said, I think I got a guy who would be good for Eli. That's all he said. And I opened up the reel and I was literally,
Mhm.
I said, he's perfect. He just had in all the different scenes of the reel put together, like a lot of what I wanted out of Eli and the look. And then I've heard that, you know, I did actually heard that he was just the nicest guy to work with. And that really, like Dylan said, that really matters. Um, so yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
that was it for me.
That's so cool. Well, part of that, we talk about that on the show is the success mindset, having that, just that vision of, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And us creative types, we're hard on ourselves. So is there something that each of you tell yourself that kind of keeps you on that right path, even when things are tough?
Yeah, for me, it's my dad who is kind of the main motivator with that one. You know, getting me this positive thinking and this non-negative, you know, reaction to something like that. It's easier said than done. I think everyone wants to react positively to negative sort of things, but um, yeah, it's a lot of self, you know, positive self-talk, a lot of working through those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Well, I'm 20 years in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've learned in recovery is about, you know, the courage to change things, the serenity to accept things, looking at my own character defects, working on myself, stop pointing the finger. And so you point the finger, there's three pointing back at you. Um, you know, and also I believe if you think you know, and this is a famous quote, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So, you know, some days that's harder than others. Some days a couple of character defects pop up and I start playing whack-a-mole, you know,
Yep.
if you get them back in place. Um, but mostly it is really never, never give up. You just have to keep marching on. You have to keep remembering why you started.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely. Well said. Now, Barry, last thing before we go, lead us out of there with this. There's so much to get out of this one, besides the entertainment value, which is great. What are you hoping that people will take away when they say this?
you know, when you abuse somebody, um, anything can happen on the way on their journey growing up. And you don't know if they're just going to be, you know, traumatized like I was and having to do years and years of work to work through it. Or if you've not only got that, you've got somebody who the lines of boundaries have been grayed out and gets so angry that they do what they do, you know? And the thing is, you don't know how you're affecting somebody. So I guess the answer is love and kindness is what I want them to walk away with, is a whole lot better than cruelty.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, thank you so much, you for making this film, and we really enjoy watching it. We tell everybody to check it out. Did a great job with the performance, and look forward to talking to you both again very, very soon.
Same here, Paul. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
so much. Okay, bye-bye.